So you want to know which Ted Lasso characters negotiate like narcissists? I'm breaking it down in this video. Hey there, I'm Rebecca Zung. I am a lawyer. I'm a narcissist negotiation expert. And on this channel and in my videos, I talk about all things negotiation and all things narcissism so that you can become more powerful in your life and against narcissists, so that you walk in, you're the most powerful person in the room. You feel more powerful. You feel more powerful in your head. You wake up in the morning, you feel good, you're feeling strong. Get those narcissists out of your head. And if that sounds good to you, you feel like, oh my God, I'm like washing those narcissists right out of my head. Then I invite you to subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. I don't know if I'm late to the party, but I just finished watching the Ted Lasso series, which was really, really good. I kind of miss these characters. And since I talk about all things negotiating with narcissists, I was like, I'm doing a video on these people. And there were actually two characters that really stood out on this series as potentially being narcissists and potentially negotiating like narcissists. And since I talk about how to negotiate and how to negotiate with narcissists, I wanted to do a video on this topic. So there was one that was obviously very narcissistic, and I'm sure you could probably figure out who it was. And that is Rebecca's ex-husband, Rupert Mannion. So obviously, he shows up right in the very first episode as being a narcissist. He's a cheating cat. You see him right in the beginning when Ted Lasso shows up at the soccer club, and Rebecca's giving him the tour, and he points out the picture, and here's this guy surrounded by women in the photo, and he's obviously, surrounded by all these younger women. And she says, oh yeah, that's my ex-husband. And, we find out he's this cheating cad right in the very first episode. And we find out that she actually hired Ted to get back at him. And you kind of think, well, maybe she's a narcissist too because of all of her antics. But then you find out, well, she was really just hurt, and she even comes clean to Ted, and find out that she really has a lot of empathy and that she has a conscience, and she apologizes to Ted, and she does really feel bad about how she treated Ted. You actually find out she's not a narcissist. But Rupert, on the other hand, well, he can't wait to rub Rebecca's face in the fact that he's got this younger, new version of Supply. He wants the younger, better version of Supply. And he can't wait to rub her face in it. So remember what narcissists want to do. They want to get the newer, better form of Supply, and they want to keep the old form of Supply around, which would be Rebecca. So because they want to keep all the forms of Supply around that they can, because it's sort of like, as I always say, like it's like they're jars on a shelf, right? Like they're keeping all the forms around that they can. So that he wants to get the newer, better form, but he wants to keep Rebecca around to manipulate the old form around as well, even better. And then he even buys the old shares to continue to jerk her around, all of that to show that he still can manipulate her. So he's got the grade A diamond level form to display it all, and then the whole level Supply to continue to jerk her around. And then he loves to come back and rub her nose in the fact that he's now got this baby with the new form of Supply. Remember, Rebecca wanted a baby. He wants to be able to rub her face in the fact that he's got this baby, and she had wanted a baby. It's not like He just wants a baby. He wants to be able to rub her face in the fact that he now has this thing that she wanted. And he even comes to her funeral, not to express sympathy to her or empathy for the fact that she may have lost her father, but just to get under her skin, even on that day, just to get under her skin, just for his own supply, And more on Narcissist 7 Deadly Sins and their behavior in my video on that subject. If you want to check that out, you can. So let's move on to the second narcissist in this series, which is more of a covert type of narcissist, I think, which would be Nate. And Nate, starts off as kind of this downtrodden, he's bullied, he seems like he's just this nice guy, bullied by the other guys. And here Ted gives him this chance because he's got this great idea and he thinks he's doing this great thing for this guy. But then what happens? He starts kind of like not being so nice to the other guy who's behind him. And you do kind of get a glimpse into Nate's home life at one point, which is not so great. His dad doesn't really acknowledge him. His dad doesn't really treat him all that well. And his mom doesn't really do anything about it. He wants his father's approval. So he's got this underlying rage. He's got this idea that he wants to be seen as something, right? So he leaks to the press that he's this wonder kid. He wants to position himself as this big deal. And, he turns around and bullies others the way he was bullied. But he wants to be recognized even at the expense of someone who took care of him. He's got this underlying rage, and the person who took care of him, the person who gave him the chance, he bites, right? He ends up betraying by leaking information about him to the press, and betraying by going and working for the other narcissist, because he sees that person as a bigger form of supply. He sees that's a bigger form of supply to attach himself to. So certainly that demonstrates him to be a definite narcissist, which is not good and so rude. And if you think that is so rude, put "so rude" in the comments. And I would love to know your thoughts on it in the comments below as well. So what do you think? I think definitely he's a narcissist. And, the fact that he betrayed Ted. So no, so rude, so not good. If you like the video, give it a like, give it a share. And make sure you subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell. And if you want a copy of my free ebook, my free Crush My Negotiation Prep Worksheet, you can grab that at winmynegotiation.com. And if you are dealing with a narcissist yourself and you want extra support, feel free to join my support group at Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung in Facebook. Remember that today is always a great day to start negotiating your best life. Remember to slay. Slay is my brand. And I'm so happy that you're here. And I will definitely see you in the next video.